Hi, everyone, and welcome to Natural English Conversations. I'm Sarah.
And I'm James. Thanks for joining us today.
Today, we're talking about something we all deal with every day, getting around the city. Specifically, we're going to chat about transportation in Dallas, Texas, where we both live.
Right. And Sarah and I have pretty different ways of getting around, so this should be interesting.
Exactly. So let's dive right in. James, how do you usually get around Dallas?
Well, I drive my truck pretty much everywhere. That's just how I've always done it. I've got a pickup truck. It's a Ford F-150, and it's really convenient for me. I actually bought it about 5 years ago when I moved here from Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I can haul stuff when I need to, I've got my own space, and I can go anywhere I want, whenever I want. Plus, Dallas is really a car city, you know?
Yeah, it really is. Now I'm totally different. I actually prefer taking public transportation, especially when I'm going downtown or to other busy areas.
Really?
Yeah, I do have a car, but I hardly use it in the city. I mainly take the DART system. That's Dallas Area Rapid Transit. I actually started using it when I moved here from Portland about 2 years ago. In Portland, I was used to great public transit, so I was determined to make it work here too.
Okay, so what do you like about it?
Well, first of all, I don't have to worry about parking, and parking in downtown Dallas can be really expensive and hard to find.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true.
Plus, I can read or check my phone while I'm traveling, which I obviously can't do when I'm driving, and it's cheaper than gas and parking fees combined.
That's a good point about the cost. I never really thought about adding up all those parking fees. But don't you find the DART system kind of slow sometimes?
Well, yeah, it can be slower than driving directly, especially if you have to make connections.
Wait, so you mentioned Portland. How does Dallas public transit compare to what you had there?
Well, Portland definitely has more comprehensive coverage, especially with their buses and streetcars. But Dallas is actually doing pretty well, considering how spread out the city is. The light rail here covers a lot of ground. I can get from my apartment in Deep Ellum all the way to Richardson or down to the airport without needing a car.
That's interesting. How long does it usually take you to get places? Like if you're going from Deep Ellum to downtown for work?
From Deep Ellum to downtown is actually super quick on the Green Line, maybe 8 to 10 minutes. The train runs every 15 minutes during peak hours, so I never wait too long, and I can walk to the station from my apartment in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
But honestly, during rush hour, I think I'm actually getting there faster than if I were stuck in traffic on I-35 or the Dallas North Tollway.
Oh man, don't even get me started on I-35. That highway is a nightmare during rush hour. I still drive it because I have to, but it's so frustrating.
Exactly. And that's another thing I like about the train. I'm not stressed out by traffic. I just sit there and relax.
Yeah, I can see that, but what about when you need to go somewhere that's not on a DART line? Like, what if you want to go to a suburban mall or visit friends in Plano or something?
Well, that's when I use my car. I'm not completely anti-car or anything.
Right, okay.
But actually, the DART system goes to a lot more places than people think. The light rail goes to Plano, Richardson, Garland, and even down to DFW Airport.
Really? I didn't know it went that far out.
Yeah, plus they have buses that connect to even more areas. The coverage is actually pretty good if you plan ahead.
Huh, I guess I should look into that more. But one thing I really love about having my truck is the independence. Like, if I want to go somewhere at midnight, I don't have to check a schedule.
That's true.
Or if I need to pick up something big from Home Depot, I can just throw it in the back. I use my truck for work sometimes too, so it's really practical for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can definitely see why a truck would be useful for those kinds of things. What I don't understand is why so many people drive huge trucks or SUVs just for commuting to office jobs.
Ha! Well, this is Texas, People like big vehicles here.
Plus, some people feel safer in bigger cars.
I guess, but the gas prices. Don't you spend a fortune on gas?
Yeah, gas is definitely expensive, especially with a truck. I probably spend about $200 a month on gas, and that's not even counting maintenance, insurance, and registration fees. My truck insurance alone is like $150 a month.
Wow, my DART pass cost me like $96 a month, and that covers everything. Buses, light rail, even the TRE commuter train to Fort Worth if I wanted to use it. When I break it down, that's only about $3 per day for unlimited transportation.
You know, when you put it that way, it really makes me think. Between gas, insurance, maintenance, and parking fees, I'm probably spending close to $400 a month on my truck. That's a huge difference.
Right? And I haven't even mentioned the environmental benefits. One bus or train car can replace dozens of individual cars on the road. Plus, I don't have to worry about my car breaking down or needing repairs.
Okay, you're making me seriously consider trying public transit. But what about safety? I hear some people say they don't feel comfortable on the trains late at night.
I mean, you have to be aware of your surroundings, just like anywhere else in the city.
Right.
But I've been taking DART for 3 years now, and I've never had any real problems. The trains and stations are pretty well lit, and there are usually other people around during the times I travel. Plus, they have transit police and emergency call buttons on the platforms. I actually feel safer sometimes than I would walking alone to my car in a dark parking garage.
That's good to know. And what about the weather? Like in the summer when it's 100 degrees outside, do you still take the train?
Oh yeah, definitely. The trains and buses are air-conditioned, and most of the stations have covered areas where you can wait.
Okay.
It's actually kind of nice not having to walk across a huge hot parking lot to get to your car in the middle of July.
That's a really good point. I hate those hot parking lots. Sometimes my truck is so hot inside, I can barely touch the steering wheel.
Exactly. So what about other types of transportation? Have you ever tried rideshare apps like Uber or Lyft in Dallas?
Yeah, I've used them a few times. Mainly when I was going out downtown and didn't want to drive. You know, if I was planning to have a few drinks.
Smart.
They're convenient, but man, they can get expensive, especially during busy times when they have surge pricing.
Oh yeah, surge pricing is crazy. I've seen rides that normally cost $15 jump up to like $40 or $50 during New Year's Eve or big events at the American Airlines Center.
Exactly. That's when having your own vehicle really pays off. What about biking? Do you ever bike around Dallas?
I've tried it a few times, but honestly, Dallas isn't the most bike-friendly city. The traffic can be pretty intimidating, and there aren't bike lanes everywhere. Some areas, like the Katy Trail and White Rock Lake, are great for recreational biking, but commuting by bike is challenging. The city has been adding more bike lanes recently, like the ones on Elm Street downtown, but it's still pretty limited compared to cities like Austin or Portland.
Yeah, I would never bike on some of those busy streets. That seems really dangerous.
Right. Plus, the heat and humidity in the summer would make it pretty uncomfortable for commuting. Maybe for short trips in the cooler months, but not as a main form of transportation.
So, looking at all these options, it sounds like we both agree that Dallas is really designed for cars, but public transit can work well for certain situations.
Exactly. I think the key is finding what works best for your lifestyle and budget. For me, public transit works great most of the time, but I still keep my car for when I need it.
And for me, having my truck gives me the flexibility I need, even though it costs more. But after talking with you, I might try taking DART downtown sometimes, especially during rush hour.
That's great. You should definitely try it. And who knows? Maybe you'll discover you like not having to deal with all that traffic stress.
You know, before we wrap up, I'm curious, have you noticed any changes in Dallas transportation since you've been here? Like any improvements or new developments?
Yeah, actually. The city has been adding more bike share programs. Those Lime scooters and bikes are everywhere now. And they've been working on improving some of the DART stations, making them more accessible. Plus, I've noticed more people seem to be using public transit than when I first moved here. Maybe it's just the areas I frequent, but the trains seem busier during rush hour.
That's interesting that you mentioned more people using it. I have noticed that some of the parking lots downtown seem a bit less crowded than they used to be. Maybe more people are taking your approach. And yeah, those scooters are everywhere. Though I have to admit, seeing people zip around on those things makes me a little nervous as a driver.
Yeah, those scooter riders can be pretty unpredictable. But I think it shows that people are looking for alternatives to driving, especially for short trips. Dallas is definitely changing, even if it's still primarily a car city. Who knows? Maybe in another 10 years, we'll have even more transportation options.
Maybe. Well, this has been a really interesting conversation about getting around Dallas.
Definitely. Thanks to everyone for listening to Natural English Conversations. We hope this episode helped you learn some useful vocabulary and phrases about transportation.
Next episode, we'll be talking about our favorite restaurants in Dallas, so make sure to tune in for that.
Until then, keep practicing your English, and we'll see you next time.